Hello everyone. Today I'm going to introduce you all to my 2024 Road Glide. I am about to begin the process of upgrading the air intake and adding the Screaming Eagle Pro Tuner. And I'll show you a couple of modifications I've done already, which deals with electrical. Right here, you'll see an SAE connector. This one is plugged straight into the battery. You can use it as a tender, but in my case I'm going to be using it primarily for jump starting with a jump starter if needed. And on the other side, this is the one that I hooked up to the battery tender cable that came installed on the bike, and attached it out here to make it easier to get to, so you ain't gotta take your seat off every single time. And it's hooked into, I guess, the wiring harness, because I didn't see any direct connections to the battery for this cable. So if I was to try to jump the bike using this one, I'd probably end up blowing a fuse. So the reason I did that on the other side is so that I could jump it from the other side instead of this side. The bike is a Whiskey Fire color. It's a 2024 Road Glide. And here in a few minutes I'll begin the process of installing the air intake. Give me a few minutes, I will come back and get everything started. I gotta gather up all the tools that I need. Okay, so the air filter I've chosen was the Screaming Eagle Air Cleaner Extreme Wedge. After doing some research on the Harley's website, apparently this one is the one that has 22% more airflow over the big long cone one that they've got and the other round wedge. So this is the one I will be installing. Right here. Alright, so we're going to begin with taking off the air box. This is the first time I've done this, so bear with me as I try to figure this out. Okay, so this looks like it's a hex, a 532. No, 532 is too small. And 730 is too big. So let me grab the small kit. So this is a 532, which doesn't make any sense because my other one didn't fit it. Oh, sorry, that's a 3/16. It says 532 on this, but it's a 3/16. That's odd. And if you're asking, or wondering what I'm recording this on, I have purchased a DJI Osmos 5, which is what I'm using to record this video with. I have not read the instructions yet, but we'll figure it out once I figure out how to get this one off. So I think this is supposed to just pop out while attached. Oh, it just pulls out. There we go. I don't know what all that white stuff is. Maybe someone put some kind of lube on it to help get the air filter on there a little easier. That's what it appears like. Now it looks like I'm gonna need some sockets. And I have no idea what size they are. I'm gonna eyeball it. Looks like it's going to be a 15 millimeter. Nope, 14 millimeter. That's odd. 15 millimeter. I had a little bit of play in it, and of course I got the wrong ratchet and extension. I'm not a mechanic, I'm just a do-it-yourselfer, so bear with me while I get the tools right. It's on there pretty tight. Alright, those two bolts are out. I'm going to drop them in the bottom of the air box. And it looks like there's two T-screws in there. They look fairly small. T27. So used a 14 millimeter socket to take out the two big bolts on the inside, T27 to take off these two small screws that are in here. And an Allen wrench that is 532. These things are in there pretty good. So it appears there's just those two big bolts on the inside. These two small ones on the inside. And it looks like there's one up there on the top. I'm just going to drop everything down into the bottom of the air box, because the bottom of the air box doesn't lead anywhere. That way I don't lose them. Yep, looks like it's just the one on top that's left. I'm going to pause it. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab a microphone, so you might be able to hear me. Okay, I'm back. I got my microphone. Alright, so let's finish trying to take this off. There's a hose up here at the top. It might be a little tough. I might have to grab me a pair of pliers and hope I don't scratch anything. Nope, I ain't got pliers long enough to get in there. Let's see if maybe I can push it off with them. Alright, I'll be back. Let me figure out how to get this hose off. I'll let you know. Alright, I'm back. I got it off. I got it off with a screwdriver. Had to get in there in between the hose and the nipple on the back. Stretch the hose out a little bit and it finally came off. But before I put it back on, I'm definitely going to dab some oil in there. Hopefully it'll make it a little easier to come off in the future if I ever have to take it off again. Alright, now I'm going to go through. I found a gasket. And this. I don't think I have to use that, but we will find out. Alright, so I'm going to put this gasket on here. Okay, so it looks like you got to put the gasket on the filter itself, and there's a piece tape, so it's a double-sided sticky. You got to line it up. There's a little notch down the bottom of it, right here. I guess just line that up and make sure your holes are lined up. That's the filter. Alright, so put this on. It's got some thread lock in it. We'll screw it all the way in, point it out the back. Let me grab some oil and dab some oil on this. I know I had my Toro riding lawnmower has a little oil drain hose that you just unhook, and it helps you drain the oil. And it's hooked up with a little nipple like this, but they put it on there dry, and everybody was complaining about it, and I found out everybody was complaining about it because I had to figure out how to get it off. And they ended up breaking the little nipple off every time, and then Toro finally went in and changed the design or put lubrication on it or something. I can't remember what it was, but it broke it off. Now I'm going to find out if that black piece is going to be required. Okay, so it looks like this is going to be required. Well, maybe not. Oh, yep. All right. Put that in there first, and then put your gasket on. Now I gotta put the gasket back on. Like I said, I haven't read the instructions, but I can kind of figure stuff out occasionally. Alright, pull the hose back out. Alright, put this hose on. Just trying to make sure everything lines up and fits correctly. Yep, that hose is going to have to be turned up a little bit. that's lined up now. Alright, let's figure out what these... Got some hex bolts gotta put in. Figure out what size they are. Looks like they're gonna be the same as the other one on the other tool. These do have thread locker on. I was wondering if I was going to have to put some on. Well, one's bigger than the other. So I'm going to grab my thread locker and put thread locker on them because only one of them has thread locker. Thread lock. Yeah, crap. Let's hope it's long enough to get it in there. And I'm gonna have to grab a different one with a longer handle. Alright, 532. This is odd. My 532 on my other tool don't work. I'm thinking this is going to be something different. I'm switching between SAE and metric, and my longer ones, and none of them are fitting. So 3/16. There we go. 3/16. Got it to fit. I don't like how tight that is. But that's the only spot this one can go. I'm just going to snug it before I start the other two. Now I gotta find the other. Okay, there they are. one's going to be a smaller size. So this bottom one is a size 532. And I didn't put the thread locker in it. Let's try this again. I'm using blue thread lock. I don't know why they put threads on the outside for you to screw it all the way through just to get to that back hole. They should have just made the front of it just a hole. Unless there's another bike that requires something different, so they just made it universal. Alright, I'm gonna get the next one started. Blue thread lock. Yeah, it's beyond me why they're gonna have two different size tools that are gonna need to be that you gotta use just to get these in. They should have just made it one tool instead of two different tool sizes. Yeah, okay, so that gasket I put on there, don't put it on there if you've got a 2024 Road Glide. It's not needed because this little plastic piece right here that pulls it out a little bit is keeping the filter pulled out there, so there is a gap. There's a gap between this box and the intake on the bike. And that gasket is just sitting in there, not even touching. So that gasket isn't doing any good. Alright, those are thread locked in. I'm not going to torque them because I got them pretty tight by hand. Yeah, I can feel. Oh, never mind. I can't move the gasket anymore now that I tightened them down. It looks like it might be. Yeah, the gasket's good. Put the gasket on. Can't go wrong. Put the gasket on. Alright, so air filter. Oh wait, no. See something I need to put back in. So your two big bolts that you took out of your other air filter go back in. And they were thread locked in. But it's wore off. So I'm going to put some blue thread lock on them. Get this first one started. I just run it down like one edge of it because as you tighten it up, that thread lock's going to work its way around the thread, so you don't have to spread the thread lock all the way around it. Just put it down one edge of it. Hand tight. I don't know, I would say I might be putting maybe 10 to 12 pound of torque on them. I'm not going to over tighten them because that thread lock will hold it in, keep them from backing out. Alright, that's good. Let's do the filter again. Alright, so the filter's got a lip around the edge of it and a lip on this. So I'm going to stick that in there. Yeah, let me take it off and do it. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. Alright, so the two long ones, it looks like they're going to go in the front, but they got plastic wrapped around them. I am going to thread lock these as well with blue thread lock. Just a little. Get the first one started. And I have no idea what kind of tool that is to tighten it up. That is weird. Well, I'll be back. I gotta figure out what I gotta use. Okay, so it looks like I appeared to have been able to find what it looks like. So it's a regular socket that usually comes in most socket sets. It's an 8mm, but it's not the square like your normal sockets. I think it's like SAE or metric or whatever it is, but it appears like it's going to grab it and allow me to put it on there and tighten it up. So that's what I'm going to use. We'll find out in a minute if it strips it or causes a problem. Thread lock this second one and get it started. All right, so the two long ones go on the front, and then there's a short one. It's going to go on the back. I don't want to get these too tight. It looks like they're going to stop. So the threads aren't that long, so it appears there's a smooth edge to it, so it should stop itself from over tightening. Yep, you get it in there so far. It's not going to let you tighten it up anymore. It's so tight that you're going to smash the filter. The only thing I don't like about this filter is these black edges. They got some of the rubber inside of the filter, so that's going to show. It doesn't look bad other than over threading this, or getting that, I guess, the glue to the filter around the edges so you can see it. Other than that, I mean, it looks pretty good. It's solid. All right, now I'm going to get ready to start working on the tuner. So let me get everything unhooked. I'm going to pause everything. I'll be back in a minute. I got to pull everything off on the other side and figure that part out. Okay, I'm back. So you got to install the Screaming Eagle Pro Street Tuner app. If you can see it on my phone, I'm going to install it. I have not pulled the side panel off yet. I'm going to go ahead and open the app. While using the app, allow, accept. All right, I'll go grab my keys. I'll be back in 1 second. All right, and everybody says before you do any electrical work, make sure you pull the fuse. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to pop the side cover off. I'm going to detach my SAE so I don't bang up my side cover. Yep, never mind, there goes that. I banged it up. Shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't have hurt anything. Move it over out of the way. Alright, so the Pro Street tuner comes a little package like this. Braking seal renders part as non-returnable. Breaking this seal renders part as non-returnable. Okay, it says it on there twice. I'm not going to break the seal. I'm going to break the bubble wrap. Alright, there's the tuner. I think you're supposed to plug it into this. Let me pull this fuse out first. Alright, fuse is out. Let's see, how do I want to put this in there? I don't think it's going to be able to wedge in like that. Yeah, that looks like that might work. Let's test the fit. Yep, that'll work. Let me get some alcohol and wipe that out so it'll stick. Tripping over everything. All right. I'll let that dry. So on the back of it, there's some Velcro. If I can get this peeled off. By the time I get it peeled off, the alcohol should be dry. Alright, it's plugged in, it's inverted. Just wrap this cord up here and put it up here where the battery tender cable was. Keep it out of the way. Alright, so now, see if there's instructions on here. So the only thing I've done is, like I said, I did the wiring earlier for the battery tender. So I've got this Reinhardt 4.5-inch exhaust, which is actually affordable compared to your Screaming Eagle. I believe the I believe it was a little over $700. It come with both pipes. All right, now I'm gonna follow the instructions on the app to see what we got to do. I'll probably have to scroll through all this, except perform Harley Davidson approved tunes to your motorcycle. Pro Street Tuner real-time data. View alternate gauge readings. Save and reuse previous tunes. Perform Harley Davidson. Okay, we're going to skip that. Alright, so I'm not going to turn on the motorcycle. I am going to cycle it though so that the computer comes on. Nope, I can't do that until I put the fuse back in. Hold on. I did watch a YouTube. I seen one guy putting one of these in, so there's a setting in here to set it for exhaust and the air cleaner. Alright, so as soon as this thing fully boots up, we'll see if it'll allow us to connect. I gotta wait for the computer fully boot up on the bike. Bear with me. It didn't boot up all the way the first time. I had to restart it. All right, let's see if we can connect to it now. Update the firmware, continue. I don't know how long this is going to take, so y'all are going to be here with me. We'll update it so y'all are going to know how long it takes. Update complete. Looks like it took about 2 to 3 minutes. Alright, so I think we go to tune. We're going to connect again. Next. I'm going to do, I think it's 117 stage 1, because this is a 2024 Road Glide. Stage 1 I think is considered the tuner and the air filter and the exhaust. Touring center cooled. Configuration Milwaukee 8, 117 stage 1, air cleaner and exhaust. And then we program it with this calibration. When reflashing the motorcycle, ensure the phone is within 20 feet. Direct line of sight is recommended. If Bluetooth connection is broken during reflash process, permanent damage to the motorcycle can occur. So, let's make sure I stay right here within a few inches of it. Please be sure the calibration you have chosen matches your vehicle's installed hardware configuration, and inappropriate configuration may make your vehicle non-compliant with EPA regulatory emission standards. Are you sure you want to continue with the selected calibration? Okay. If equipped, please turn off radio prior to calibration programming. Well, I don't have the radio on. All right, so now I'm going to turn the ignition. It says to turn the ignition off and then back on without starting. You know, I don't think there's an off button for the radio. There's only turning it down, pausing. Wait a minute, let me do this. I'm going to disconnect my phone from the motorcycle. All right, now let's go back and do it again. And now it's telling me insufficient battery voltage. All right, so let me plug up my tender and see what happens. Give me 1 second. All right, the bike is off. I'm gonna let my battery charge up on my motorcycle. It's not dead. I guess it just went down from having it turned on while doing all that. So give me 1 second. I'll wait for my tender to turn green and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. Gonna start this all over again on updating. So here we are. Back at this screen, my battery finally charged. Took a couple hours. Alright, so I need to connect the BCI again. So now I gotta cycle the motorcycle again. Alright, so now I'm gonna try to tune again. So we're gonna do the 117 stage 1 for 2024 Road Glide. And we are going to program with this calibration. I've already read through all that earlier. If equipped, please turn off the radio prior to calibration programming. You know, as long as my phone don't reconnect, let's check. Let's go make sure Bluetooth. Alright, I turned off my Bluetooth to my motorcycle. Alright, so there we go. The calibration on the ECU module is compatible with 16 and 19 front wheel. We've seen that again. Please turn the ignition off and then back on, but do not start the engine. Alright, we're just going to do that. We'll unpair the motorcycle. Alright, cycling it again. Program motorcycle. Here we go. And it's too late at night for me to try to start this thing up in the garage, so I'll have to do that another time when it's not cold outside and I can actually ride it. Programming complete. Your motorcycle calibration has been programmed to the motorcycle. Your motorcycle now has your custom calibration installed. You can repeat this process as many times as you would like to refine your calibration. Before continuing, you must turn off the vehicle ignition switch and run stop switch. Wait 20 seconds and then turn on the ignition switch and run stop switch. Perform all necessary steps to verify there are no current DTC codes and to clear any historic codes. Enjoy your ride. All right, so I'm going to turn it off. And we're going to wait 20 seconds. And then we'll turn it back on and make sure there's no codes. Well, the app automatically closed by itself. That's strange. All right, well, that's how you program it, I guess, and install the air filter. So if you enjoyed this instructional, please like, follow, subscribe. I will be uploading more ride videos when I can get out and ride a little bit more. Lately, it's been getting a little bit colder and doing a lot of raining. So I already have some videos I've put up on there. I live in Ashdown, Arkansas. I'm originally from Oklahoma, but I'll be doing rides through Broken Bow around the area that I currently live. And before my son gets deployed, we'll try to go on some more trips. But other than that, that's all I've got today. Y'all have a good one.